welcome to sunny San Diego.
Thanks, man.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
That performance was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Tell me where that song came from. Here.
Came from here. Okay. No, I was living in Nashville for a bit, and I'm from Palm Springs originally, so I'm from out here. And then I lived in LA for a bit, but when I left in Nashville and came back, I kind of saw LA from a different way, and it was cool, and I kind of loved it. It was so easy to kind of hate on LA when I was living there, and I was like, oh man, this place. But leaving to go to Nashville and coming back, it was like it really just felt like, man, this is where I'm from. This is the way it is, you know, and like love it or hate it, like this is the story of me moving to LA, and it's like a big part of who I am in some way, you know. Like I'm a Los Angeles guy.
Let me ask you this: had you moved from Los Angeles to Des Moines and then come back, do you think the song would have been different?
No, I think it would have been the same because I love Nashville. I feel like now I'm not saying Des Moines not cool, but if I had moved somewhere that, you know, I didn't have as much fun in musically.
But Nashville's, it's pretty musical too.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think I probably would have, because even though they're both music towns, LA and Nashville could not be more different. You know, I'd barely even call them on the same scale as, like, you know, musically just totally different. But somehow in Nashville, I probably got on better musically there. But something about coming back to LA, just the people in the streets and just the way of living and the pace, it was like, you know, maybe the parts of it I don't like or the parts of myself I don't like, but it's just, there it is. That's the town that I kind of, you know, grew up in the business in, and there it is. You know, it's weird.
So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Even though I hate that expression. Okay, tell me about the charity thing that you've been doing. How does that work, and when did that start?
I started that probably 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even more. Maybe it's been 5 or 6 years now. But it's called TH Books for Kids, and what it is, it's just an organization where we raise money for to, you know, help, you know, child literacy and to get books into kids' hands. So like after the Hurricane Katrina, we restocked a whole library. It took us a few years, but we restocked children's hospitals, libraries, and you know, just different things. Like we have different requests come in. Like one time we had a request come in, where a teacher was like, "I just was a substitute teacher here, and now it looks like I'm gonna be a permanent teacher. I don't have money to buy books, and the school doesn't have any money to give it to me. You know, I'd really love some help from the charity." So it was like we were able to give textbooks to all the kids. So it's that.
Were you a big
stuff.
Reader when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Did you like to the point where you didn't understand what was going on in the real world because you were?
No, I really dug it, and it wasn't even that way where I was like, you know, I needed to be pushed, and I really got into the programs at schools that was like, whoever reads the most books gets a free burrito Friday in the cafeteria, whatever it is. Like sometimes you need that push, and then you're like, oh hell yeah, I'll get that burrito, and you start reading, you're like, and now I'm a writer, and you know, both musically and just like a writer. I love doing that kind of stuff, and I love reading.
Right.
And sometimes I think kids need that push, and I feel bad for the kids that don't have the books around. And I don't know, I feel like it's kind of akin to like giving the fisherman the pole instead of the fish. You know, there's a lot of problems in each of our lives. We kind of handle them differently. I think if you have the tool of self-education, you can't really go wrong, you know.
It's wonderful. Give me the influences when you were a kid growing up. Who was the first, what was the reason that you said, I got to pick up a guitar?
Elvis was the big reason. We were on a cross-country trip, and I was like 9 or 10, and my mom was like, okay, we're going to stop by this place called Graceland, and this guy named Elvis was there, and she got me his cassette tapes to kind of do some research. And I was like, okay. And I went to his house and saw his pictures and heard his music and was like, this is amazing. And it was right around that same time I got into Frank Sinatra. And for some reason, those two, I was just like, I got to be like them. And the only other guy that like probably came anywhere close to them in my heart was Robert Johnson a few years later. So between the three of them, I was like, I got to figure out how to be Robert Johnson and Elvis and Frank Sinatra. And they're like, that's the kind of the three I try to keep around.
Donuts, booze, the devil. That's all that's what it comes down to.
That's what I'm going to call my EP. I've been trying to figure out what to call it.
Peanut butter and banana sandwiches. If you would take the donuts out.
Totally.
That's all in essence you have to do.
That's it. It's that simple. That's my writer right there.
Yeah, there you go. I just need I want the devil to be in the dressing room when I get there. Make sure he's waiting, so he's pissed. And the booze, what was Frank Sinatra's favorite drink?
Like bourbon or something, probably.
So you want a bottle of bourbon, bottle of a devil in there, and
bottle of the devil. Yeah, I want a bottle of devil.
Peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
And a bottle of peanut butter.
Fried.
That's where the inspiration really comes from. That's where that song comes from, actually.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you very much for swinging by and hanging out with us.
Dude, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Wonderful performance, too.
Thank you. Thank you very much.